Hi, everyone. My name is Cynthia Connolly. I'm the Director of Programming at the City Club of Cleveland, and I am so glad to be back here at Morning Star Baptist Church. Can we please give a round of applause to Pastor Hall and his team here for being such gracious hosts? We'll be hearing from Pastor Hall again here in a little bit. He's going to do us the privilege of ringing our opening gong and providing the intro for Krayzie Bone. Also, yes, Krayzie Bone is here. Bone Thugs. Who grew up a huge Bone Thugs fan, right? Yeah. Yes, I'm so glad we have some fans here. Who's here really excited to hear about this community conversation, about lifting up community? Yes. Yes. We have DJ Kristyles from WOVU also here in the corner covering our forum today. DJ Kristyles will be the conversation partner. As they're speaking and talking, make sure you think of that question that you have, because we will have an audience Q&A in the second half. I would also like to extend a huge thank you to Bank of America. At the City Club, there are City Club in the community sponsors, and they're the ones that make it possible for us to move out of 850 Euclid and into the community, in your backyards, to bring the conversations that are important for you to you. And without their support, it would be really tough to do that. So everyone, please thank Jen Hurd. Is Jen Hurd in here? She's volunteering today, actually. She's with Bank of America. There she is. There's Jen. Hi. Thank you, too, for volunteering today. So big thanks to Bank of America. But mostly, I really want to give a chance to hear from Tim Tramble, the president and CEO of St. Luke's Foundation. We have been a partner with them for a very long time. I've known Tim for a very long time as well. And we could be no more pleased than we are today to host this conversation with St. Luke's for his community. So I want to give the mic to Tim really quickly to say a few remarks to get us going here. Tim. You want to use the podium?
Cynthia, thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. And so I'm going to take this opportunity today to, as we discuss the social, emotional health and well-being, I want to address something that has been a concern of the community that we have heard loud and clear. And that is the prevalence of crime within our community that has become pervasive, not just in the city of Cleveland, but throughout the entire country. What I want to do is caution everyone not to see this as a need to increase law enforcement, or at least not to do that solely. That would be focusing on the symptom rather than focusing on the policies, the systems, and the structures that led to the symptoms of crime. We are the richest country in the world. Yet we incarcerate more people than any other country in the world. If we lock up our youth, if we just focus on locking up our youth, we will be locking up those who have the highest capacity to serve in our workforce. Without cultivating a strong workforce, the disease of weak neighborhood economies will still exist. The disease of inequity will still exist. The disease of inequality and unequal opportunity will still exist. The opioid crisis will still exist. Blight within our community will still exist. The disease of transgenerational poverty will still exist, while the wealth gap will continue to expand. Many of us today know the African proverb, neglected children of the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. We have to recognize that that's what's happening in our cities. So I want you guys to ponder on that, and I want us, as we think about how we deal with this crime issue, not to just simply think that we can just lock our kids up and that's the solution. So with that, on behalf of the board and staff of the St. Luke's Foundation, I'd like to thank Dan Morthorpe and his team at the City Club. I'd like to thank Pastor Hall and his team at Morning Star Baptist Church for this purposeful collaboration. I'd like to thank all of our community partners who are here today. I want to thank each and every one of you who've taken the time to be here today. I have to thank Council President Blaine Griffin, who is always here to support us and for his extraordinary leadership. I want to acknowledge Peter Witt, who is the contact person at St. Luke's Foundation for these forums. I want to acknowledge Devontae Dickey, who worked tirelessly to get the word out about these forums, and Sharon Edmonds, who is our point person, and by the way, our fashion police, right? I gotta tell y'all, I'm wearing old school tennis shoes because she told me I had to go home and get some old school tennis shoes that she know I have in my closet. Okay, so, so y'all can clap for that if I want to. So we do these forums in the community to amplify the voices of the community. City Club has a global reach, so we encourage you to not just come to these forums, but to go downtown and go to the forums and be represented and speak your voice at those forums. The St. Luke's Foundation will be happy to sponsor attendees of our community. Definitely. We already do, actually, but for you who are in the community who want to go to City Club forums, please just give us a call. We'd be happy to sponsor you. With that, I want to draw your attention to the video to learn more about the City Club. Thank you all.
That's because since 1912, we have provided our platform for speakers to discuss topics of the day.
First and foremost, we're in the democracy business. We're in the experience of providing a platform for people to participate in democracy that goes beyond the ballot box. It's about shaping community conversation.
I commend this club very, very warmly for being a beacon, a symbol, and a sentinel for freedom, for justice, for tolerance.
What maintains democracy? What are the pillars of democracy? And how do we understand that as a citizenry? And the only way to fully understand and comprehend is to wrestle with democracy. That's been the exercise and the experiment since the Constitutional Convention. And so we're still having those conversations here.
It is a place where week in and week out, dialogue on the most critical topics and issues of our time are occurring. And it invites a healthy discourse, and it invites conversation that leads to change.
Hello, Cleveland. Every sitting president since Ronald Reagan has come here to the City Club of Cleveland. And that's because this is an institution that reflects what is a truly American idea. That's the belief that all of us have a role to play in resolving the most important issues of our time.
After 9/11, I was asked by the City Club be on a panel and talk about what does it mean to be a Muslim in America. No other place at that time especially was willing to hear what does it mean to being a Muslim and living in this country and going through the trauma that we are going through and be able to explain what it means to us.
I think I've been a City Club member at least 50 years. I wanted to learn more about what was going on in the world. I think it's important that everybody learns that there are usually two views on almost any subject, and before you make up your mind what you're going to do, you should hear both sides.
I think you have to think of it as the community's microphone. When the community has to have a conversation and they have to look for a place to get the message out, the City Club is the vehicle.
It wasn't my checkbook, it was my life that was on the line. You go with me to any Gold Star mother and you look her in the eye and you tell her that her son did not hold a job.
One of the things that people might not realize about what the City Club does is this opportunity to come together with folks that you wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to meet in your specific sector or potential clients or things like that. I challenge anyone to come to the City Club and not learn something new and not meet someone new.
The City Club is important to me because the stature, the To not just free speech is a vital part of democracy, but informed free speech.
One thing that I have always believed is 3 sentences that were said by a prophet of 2,000 years ago. If I'm not for myself, who will be? But if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? And I'm the 5th generation of the first Jewish settler in the city of Cleveland. And the City Club is even more important today than it ever was in the past.
The guardians of free speech, for me, I think the first thing I go to is thinking about like the definition of what a guardian is, right? And for me, it's a defender, it's a protector, it's a keeper. And I think it's really important that, again, in this really precarious time that we're living in the United States, that we have these sacred spaces where an individual or an institution can, in fact, defend, protect, and be the keeper of free speech.
If we want to make sure that future generations of Clevelanders can rely on a place, a platform for civil civic dialogue, a guardian of free speech, a citadel of free speech, a place where the community can come together, then it's incumbent upon us to invest today. This is our work. And when we're successful, we'll have a new home for civic dialogue in Playhouse Square in the heart of downtown, and we'll have a $10 million endowment that will sustain and protect this organization for generations to come.
When a word must be spoken to further a good cause, and those whom it behooves to speak remain silent, anybody ought to speak and break the silence, because sometimes one word spoken at the right time can be sufficient to save a nation or a life.
All right. That always gives me chills. I love it. It's just great. Thank you, everybody. I also want to add to the remarks that Tim said. As Director of Programming, I directly work with 5 community-led, I like to call focus groups, our member committees, that come up with a lot of the ideas that we have at City Club, and they're comprised of people just like you. And a lot of our forums that come to City Club, some of the best that I see that are most impactful are the ones that come from your minds and what is the most important, the issues that you see that we are coming from. We have amazing conversations, so I recommend you reach out to me if you're interested in joining one of those committees, or even if you just have an idea for City Club, please hit me in my inbox, DM me, message me, however you want. I love hearing from everybody, so I encourage you all to reach out directly to me if you have an idea for a topic that you'd like to hear more about, or maybe you write a great book, or you have an uncle who knows so-and-so who knows so-and-so, and we can get them to come in, and that's how this works, so would love to hear from you. I want to take a moment to bring up Council President Blaine Griffin, if you wanted to come up here to the stage and do the welcome remarks for.
Well, good evening, everyone. Come on, y'all can do better than that. Good evening, everyone. All right, first of all, welcome to Ward 6. Welcome to Morning Star. I'd like to thank, first of all, my good friend, Tim Tramble and St. Luke's for really hosting this, and also the City Club of Cleveland, the citadel of free speech. Cleveland is a big city, but a small town. All of the people you've seen on that video and all of the people you see here know each other and have an intimate relationship. So we welcome our own hometown kid, Krayzie, that's here to talk about 50 years of hip hop in the city of Cleveland. Let's give him a round of applause if we could. I wanna say this. It's very, very enlightening to have this young man. I've had the chance to meet and talk with him several times with his good friend, O.C. Neal, and what he is doing with the Spread the Love Foundation and what he's doing to really try to focus on young entrepreneurs is just so great. I can't say enough about it. It's amazing that we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop. When hip hop was first created, it was a pariah. It was not socially acceptable. It was looked at and frowned upon by the broader masses. But now here we are today where it is the social justice movement that we knew it always could be. And I just want to say it's an honor and a privilege to be here with this man, because when I was a young man and I first moved to Cleveland, the first place that I went was 99th and St. Clair. Because all I could think about is the first of the month and how that resonated whenever a kid who grew up in public housing, it resonated with me like it was magical. So on behalf of all of us at Cleveland City Council, on behalf of Ward 6, the Buckeye Shaker Woodland Hills community, welcome. We enjoy you so much, and thank you so much, sir. All right? All right, appreciate it.
So we're going to go ahead and bring DJ Kristyles up here to get settled. And as they get settled and check the mics and everything, I want to run over the really important part that I know you guys are all looking forward to besides the first half of this program, which is their conversation. It's powered by all of you. It's the audience Q&A. So if you have a question, what we're going to do is we have a microphone right here in the center of the room. Go ahead and feel free to queue up over here. If you need assistance, we can bring the microphone to you. So make sure you just flag down our staff members over there manning the microphone, and they can help you out. We ask you keep your questions short, to the point, and make sure it ends in a question mark so our speaker here can answer the question. If you are a little microphone shy and don't want to quite get up in front of all the people, but really have something you want to kind of submit to the record, you can text it to 330-541-5794, and that number is in the program if you didn't have a pen to scribble that down as I was speaking it. So you feel free to text that question in, and we'll do our best to try and work it into the second half of the program. Also, if you have a phone, speaking of texting, please put that on silent, vibrate, whatever your jam is, but just make sure it doesn't make sounds. We are live streaming. Would love to make sure that everyone on our live stream is able to hear this very important conversation. I do want to also take a time to thank all of our amazing community partners that has helped make this forum possible, particularly Lake Erie Inc. and Assembly for the Arts. I think I saw Jeremy over here somewhere. There's Jeremy. Hi, Jeremy. They're amazing community partners. If you know a nonprofit organization or grassroots orgs that's really doing the work in the topic that our forum is covering, let us know. If you serve on their board, if you volunteer, if you work there, we love to have our community partners join us in partnership with these forums. They help get the work out, help bring people in the room that should be hearing what is being said, and also lifting up the work that you do. You have an opportunity to speak with everyone and tabletop at the event. So please let us know if you're interested in becoming a community partner. Also, quickly, bathrooms. I know this is a new space for a lot of people. Women's bathrooms that way, men's and women's this way, and of course there's bathrooms in the lobby in the front as well if you're out that way. For the Q&A, let's say we don't get to your question, which everyone's sad about, but good news is we will be doing a fan meet and greet after the forum. So if you're interested in getting a quick picture and chatting with Krayzie Bone, we're going to form a line right over here and just go ahead and get in line. We'll do that fan meet and greet, so you'll be able to ask your question then. With that said, I would like to invite up Pastor Hall. Is Pastor Hall here? There we go. And we're going to get this forum on the road. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that invitation, and welcome to Morning Star Baptist Church. The City Club here of Cleveland has been devoted to conversations of consequence that help democracy thrive. Today is Thursday, August the 10th, and I am the Reverend Dr. Clarence W. Hall, Jr. I'm the senior pastor here at Morning Star Baptist Church. And once again, we welcome you to our home of worship. It's my pleasure this evening to introduce this evening's forum in partnership with the St. Luke's Foundation, celebrating 50 years of hip-hop and the intersection of hip-hop culture and community well-being. It was 50 years ago in the Bronx when 18-year-old Clive Campbell DJ'd a back-to-school party for his sister. Campbell, better known as DJ Kool Herc, developed a style of DJing where he played 2 copies of the same record in order to loop percussion portions of songs. The music Campbell created came to be known as hip-hop. It took several years for it to reach a wider audience, but today, hip-hop's influence is vast, spanning multiple music genres and cultures. Fast forward to Cleveland in 1991. Our speaker today, Anthony Krayzie Bone Henderson, founded Bone Thugs and Harmony. Come on, put your hands together for that today. It was this award-winning hip-hop group that would go on to release 10 albums and influence a new generation of hip-hop fans and artists. In addition to being a talented rapper, Krayzie Bone is a producer and entrepreneur. He started the Spread the Love Foundation in 2019, a nonprofit foundation that advocates for urban arts and cultural equity by providing music industry education and workforce development to improve the Cleveland community. Somebody put your hands together for that. I was getting ready to say amen because we in church and that's what we do here. Amen. So throughout its history and its meteoric rise in popularity, hip-hop has remained a musical genre that amplifies the voices of systematically marginalized groups. Today, hip-hop's artists continue to leverage music and culture to bring investment and resources to their neighborhoods and advocate for the well-being of their communities. Also joining us on stage today is to discuss hip-hop music and how it can promote healing in community and in strength is our moderator, DJ Kristyles at WOVU 95.9 FM. As already has been said, if you have a question for the speaker for today, you can simply text that question to 330-541-5794. Again, that's 330-541-5794. And the City Club staff will try hard to work you into the second half of the program. Members and friends of the City Club of Cleveland, please join me now in welcoming Krayzie Bone and DJ Kristyles.
Hey, here it is. Here it is, all right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Hip hop at 50.
At 50.
Man, don't hip hop look good, y'all? Look at, clap it up. Hip hop look good, right? Hip hop. When you hear your accolades, right? Like, what goes through your mind when you hear that? Did you ever think when you started the group, that 17 or 18-year-old kid who took that bus all the way to LA to catch somebody that was already in Cleveland to drive all the way back? Did you think it would be right here? You'll be right here with all that, with platinum records and Grammys?
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, we love music, and we knew if somebody heard us, we would at least get a shot, but we didn't know that it would turn into longevity 30 years, like 30 years later. So definitely a blessing.
Definitely a blessing. So hip hop at 50. When we talk about hip hop, I remember the first time I heard it. And when I wanted to be a DJ, it was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and it was a song. He said, I turned it to a transformer, and I just heard these cutting, Jazzy Jeff cutting. I said, oh, what is that? It was crazy.
Yeah.
What was the first? I know the first song. What was your first song?
Well, the first song for me that got me, the first album was LL Cool J.
Okay.
It was LL Cool J. My brother brought home the LL Cool J album, the radio album. And man, I never took the tape out the tape deck. And I started, it was one song called Your Rock. you know, where it's still my favorite song today, you know. And I wanted to learn the song so bad, I started writing the lyrics down. And as I was writing down the lyrics, I saw the blueprint on how to write my own rhyme. And I started writing my own rhymes, and I never stopped from that day. Never stopped.
Why does hip hop resonate with us? Like that, when we talk about hip hop, that genre, it was different.
Yeah.
It was fighting.
Yeah.
Well, how did it resonate with you when you first heard it? Like that moment that you first, how did it resonate with you?
Man, it was. It just felt like something that we could call our own. You know, it felt like us. We was representing our culture. It was the voice of the people. You know, it was a lot of positive messages in the music. You know, when it first started, and that's what really lured me into it. It was like a freedom, you know, to express yourself in the way we wanted to express ourselves.
I love it. I love it. And so when you created a group along with Lazy, Wish, Flesh, Busy, you guys, how did you create that sound? Because that was different. That to this day, you are credited with the harmonizing and singing that we hear today from Lil Baby. We hear from Young Thug. We hear from Travis Scott.
Man, it all came from us just being together every day. We was together every day, you know, all the time. And when we would like have our little ciphers, while one was saying his rhyme, the other four would be like, you know, we would do the ad libs, and it would sound like we were harmonizing. And people started telling us, y'all sound like the Rapping Temptations. You know what I'm saying? So we was like, you know, and over time it just gradually we just went more and more into the harmonizing, and like at one point just getting really serious with it because it became our signature. So we just took it on.
And influenced the rap game as we hear it today, right now. Yes. So I don't think you guys get enough credit for that. When I have conversations about hip hop, I say, yo, Bone Thugs and Harmony created that harmonizing singing sound. So Nelly got to thank you, and everybody else got to thank you guys for creating that genre.
Oh yeah.
All day long. So, when we talk about hip hop at 50, let's talk about when you first started in music today, the industry today. How has it changed outside of the streaming?
Well, it's changed. You know, it's a much bigger business now. You know, it's a lot more commercial. You know, you don't hear many conscious rappers talking positive things. You know, that's been kind of drowned. That's been kind of put to the wayside. You know, honestly, ever since Tupac. You know, it's been put to the wayside. You know, for some strange reason, and man, it's just you know. We also have to look at it. You know, the times change, the cultures change, so we would have to expect music to change, whether we like the direction it's going in or not. It's going to change. It's going to continue to evolve. It may go through some times and periods that some of us may not like, but it's going to do what it's going to do anyway.
Right. When we talk about the industry and we talk about hip hop, and I've heard a couple of your podcasts, and you're real adamant about a lot of this about design. My understanding, you went to visit a juvenile detention center, and you say there's a correlation between prisons and the hip hop labels. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yes, you know, it was, you know that there were a lot of, you know, ties to record labels having ownership in private prisons, you know, and it was, you know, to me, it's no secret that the conscious music has been drowned out for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, all that's being promoted is this stereotype of us. Everybody is just money hungry. That's all we think about is money, cars, clothes, and women and jewelry, you know, and that's not the case. There's really some young artists out here that really want to be themselves, but the industry forces them to follow the same path.
Right. Let's dig a bit deeper in your career when you first coming up. Yeah, clap it up. So let's go deeper early in your career. when you're making your music? Because your music, you got some positives, you got some things that talk about the hood, about us. When you was coming up, did you feel any pressures of any change in your style, your music, or did anybody tell you, or were they just forcing you to stay the lane?
No, when we came up, Eazy-E told us, he said, you know, be yourselves. And like what we were doing, you know, to me, it's a difference between telling your story and glorifying the violent life, you know, because we were simply telling our story where we came from. We didn't have the lights and the cameras, you know what I'm saying? They put that, you know, they put it on us and kind of promoted it the wrong way. You know, it made it look like we were glorifying some of it, but if you listen to our music, like we say a lot of positive things, like say like this is what happened. This is not the smartest route to go all the time. So it was a lot of messages in our music as well.
Now, with that being said, and we're talking about a new time of day, and when we talk about TikTok, we're talking about social media, we talk about the pushing of negative images, especially of young black men, and just our culture, period. Hip hop industry is a $7.9 billion industry. $7 billion industry. How much do we own it? And we talk about as black folks, as us being in the culture. And how can we change that narrative? Like, how can we, it's not a correct answer, but how can we control it, get it back?
Well, I mean, the way we can control it is, I mean, you know, it's just start being more conscious of the things we say and the things we promote. You know, and I understand, I'm not trying to tell these young artists not to come out and tell their story, because I feel that's very important to get out. You know, when you first coming out, you want the world to know your story, who you are, what you've been through, and everybody's story ain't a positive, happy story. You know, so a person should be able to express his story and not be looked at like, oh, they're promoting violence. You know, because there's a lot of country artists that tell their stories, and their stories are, some of them are rather violent. You know,
Absolutely.
but you don't never, they never get the flack, or any other genre never gets the flack that hip hop gets. So, you know, that's something I never felt was right.
Yeah, but is that about design though? You think that's about design because of so much money it brings in? Because they want so much controversy and content that brings more people to look at it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot to go with that, you know. I mean,
yeah, it's complex. It's a lot of layers to it.
Very, very complex.
It's a lot of layers to it. So I've been seeing you in Cleveland for the last couple of years, like deep in Cleveland. Would you spread the love? You're coming back, talk to more artists. My question to you: why? And why now?
Well, it's always been a, you know, like a goal of mine to come back and give back. We tried to do it when we first came out with, you know, Mo Thug Records, and when we came back here with that whole movement, but we were lacking the knowledge to do it. You know, we simply just, you know, copied everything we saw Eazy-E doing, and we was only around Eazy-E for like not even a whole year before he passed away, so we didn't have that much knowledge. And, you know, it started to show, you know, by the way, like, the business was being handled. So, you know, me, myself, personally, I needed time to just assess everything, just, like, learn more business, learn how they were doing it in California and, you know, New York and, like, different places. You know, and once I accumulated the knowledge and the know-how, you know, I started putting together a team to actually be able to come back and, you know, implement some of the things that I've learned while traveling and living in other places.
Dope. How, and within that, how can we bridge the gap or help merge it hip hop and our community and the community wellness? How we can bring that together to the forefront?
Well, I think it's very important for, celebrities all over, whatever community they're from, whatever city, to bring an awareness to it, just like any other issue. Just like just like you would be here for a social issue or, encouraging everybody to vote. This should be up there. This should be right along with it.
It should be. Do you think we have, what word I'm looking for, like a better terms? Do we have, is it in our right as hip hop, as big as it is, do we supposed to give back to our community and help the wellness and uplift it? Because there's some celebrities out there that say they won't do it. It's not my business. My word is I made my money, I'm getting out, right? Do we have a duty to do that?
I mean, I feel like, anybody that struggles and goes through something, and once you get that opportunity to shine, anybody should want to do it. Just out of the goodness of your heart, you should want to do it. But however, we know, that a lot of people are not like that. So, I can only, speak for myself. I feel like it's very important, like to give something back, like to acknowledge, the place that shaped you, that birthed me, and just to just acknowledge it and give back however you can. Now everybody is not, every entertainer is not, is not like socially aware or, they're not like into the whole conscious of what's going on in the community, and I don't knock them for that. What I'm saying? But at some point, you have to. What they say, you had to pay it forward, man, for real.
Pay it forward.
Definitely.
Pay it forward. So let's get into some lighter things. I got a question for you, and you might not be able to answer this. And you might. How many times do you say bone before in the crossroads before you get to the first hook?
Man, I don't even know it. I just tried to count it right quick in my head.
There you go, yeah. Somebody asked me that question in the back, and I got it. It's 9. I think it's 9. I think we counted 9. If you count bone, 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 bones, you got it's 9.
I never knew that.
It's 9 before you get to the first. It was always, it was a question that asked. So hip hop, if you guys get the street named after you.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
How dope is that? Clap it up, give it up.
Yes, it is. Appreciate it. Yes.
Like, think about that. You get a street name after you.
Yeah, man, it's cool. It's real cool.
You come back, you legendary. The next push is to get you guys into the Hall of Fame.
Yes. Definitely.
I believe that.
Oh, yeah.
To get you guys into the Hall of Fame, and when we talk about a group that revolutionized the rap game, and I'm gonna bring it out to the forefront. Everybody with the Billboard magazine put y'all way too low on that best of all times list.
Yeah.
I was a little upset about that one.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
It's just all good. No,
Yeah.
Come on, talk. We here. We fan.
No. It was some artists on that list that I feel like we shouldn't have been put ahead of. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's just like, because for me it's like a respect thing. Like some of those artists like inspire me. And I took something from each one of those artists. So I feel like should have been more respectful of a lot of other people too.
Should be at least top 3 in my book, number 1. But that's just me. So you work with some. So what was who's one of the dopest artists you work with? Because you work with a lot of people, especially on your first album.
Man,
8Ball, MJG, to a lot of people.
Man, out of all the artists that we've ever worked with, I always say that my favorite one is Phil Collins, because
okay.
Because everything else was expected. The Tupac, like Biggie, Easy. You know what I'm saying? That was expected, but like being able to work with a legendary artist like Phil Collins, it was crazy, and then for him to invite us over to Switzerland to do the video and be in the video, it was like, yo, this is crazy, man.
That's crazy. It's a crazy experience.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you was gonna say Mariah Carey or somebody, but I guess.
Oh, yeah, she was good. She was good, but
I know. I thought that
Phil
was.
Phil is a legend, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah.
He dropped a new record. What keeps you going, right? We always say the old thing. People say the old tell people always say, you can't do hip hop after 40. You too old doing hip hop. But hip hop is the youngest genre in the world, right?
Yeah.
What keeps you going?
Well, just to answer that question though, but that's the thing about hip hop. Like, being 50 is really not a long time. 50, hip hop is not a life. You know what I'm saying? It's a genre.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like, to me, it's still it still hasn't matured fully because we still have to learn how to respect our legends. You know what I'm saying? We have to, you know what I'm saying? It has to be an understanding, between the younger and older generation.
Where was that disconnect? Because I say that all the time when we're talking about the other genres, especially we talk about country music. I love to watch the Country Music Awards, right? I watch it because there's so much respect they give to their older artists, who's been there forever, and they put them on stage, they perform, they win awards, they up for awards, everything. And that camaraderie, where did it disconnect when we talk about our genre, hip hop?
I think the disconnection was when, that when the industry tried to make it seem like all the older generation was hating on them. When simply they just didn't want us connecting with them so we could break that cycle. So make it look like, they just jealous, they're washed up, they're just mad, you know what I'm saying? When a lot of these artists is still hotter than some of these artists that's out today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that it all came. So, and this is why they say, when you get older, no label really wants to do a deal with you. They say you're washed up, but the thing is they really don't want to sign nobody that know what they're doing.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, yeah.
So they're going to go and get all these little young kids that have no idea, no education of the industry to keep that cycle going. And by the time they wake up, they're $1 million in debt and they can't get out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a cycle that has to be broken.
It needs to be. I'm worried with you with that. As I said it all the time, is by design. They want them talking to you because they want them to sign those bad contracts, so to keep them locked in.
Definitely, and that definitely what goes on.
I appreciate you, man. You're really dope. You're one of my favorites. Again, I remember when First of the Month came out, I'm jumping around up and down in my mom's living room. I say, they're from Cleveland, Ohio. That is us.
Yeah,
we on BET. We made it. Respectfully, you are a legend. Don't let nobody ever take that away from you. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you sitting down with me.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, bro. Yes.
We are about to begin the audience Q&A. I'm Cynthia Connolly, Director of Programming at the City Club, and for our live stream audience or those just joining us here at Morning Star Baptist Church, we are joined by Krayzie Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony, discussing how hip-hop music can promote healing and community strength. Moderating the conversation is DJ Kristyles at WOVU 95.9 FM. We welcome questions from everybody, City Club members, guests, and those joining us via our live stream at cityclub.org. And if you'd like to text a question for our speaker, please text it to 330-541-5794. That's 330-541-5794. And City Club staff will try our best to work it in the program. And just a heads up, if this line gets really long, we may have our staff ask a couple of you to retake your seats, and they'll motion you back to the queue when it is your turn to take the microphone. May we have that first question, please?
First of all, hello, DJ Kristyles.
How you doing, Lily Jade?
And also Krayzie Bone.
How you doing?
What made you want to get started in rap music?
Well, like I said earlier, you know, it was LL Cool J, you know, Run DMC and Big Daddy Kane. And I just, you know, I just fell in love with the genre because it was different from what I was used to. First of all, I was a huge fan of Michael Jackson. That's what got me loving music, you know, loving music. And then it was my favorite R&B group was New Edition. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and from there I just went into, you know, once I heard the LL Cool J album, I just, you know, I just fell in love with the whole hip hop scene.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I give a shout out to DJ Lily J. Made the Forbes 30 under 30 list. She made the Forbes 30 under 30 list. So shout out to her.
It's good. I'll take it over. Can I take it over? All right. So peace, love. Y'all did had a great conversation. So thank you for that. I feel like I didn't waste my time. But straight to my question, y'all started off right off the rip. And one of the questions he asked you, I forgot the question, but you had a lot of confidence. So my question is, how much confidence does it take for you to follow your dreams? Because that's what I stand for.
Man, you have to have a lot of confidence, you know. And having confidence don't mean you're not gonna be scared sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like, you just, and at those times you feel that fear. You just have to remember what your end goal is, what you're doing it for, what your purpose is, what's your inspiration, and you got to keep pushing forward. Definitely.
Hello. Hi. I didn't think I'd be this nervous coming up here.
That's good.
I know. I thought it would be okay. Okay. It's good to see you, and you too. I'm just asking, have you guys ever thought about doing like a documentary or, you know, maybe a little series or something?
Yes, that is definitely in the talkings right now. We're trying to do something like, I don't know if you've seen the Wu-Tang.
Yes, that's why I'm asking.
Yes, trying to do something like, you know, like in that fashion for sure.
Okay, don't forget about me. I brought it up now.
All right now, all right.
You gotta give her points off that.
Yeah, you know.
Exact points.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, I've heard your music over the years. I'm delighted that you came to see us.
Yes.
I'm all about freedom of speech. I'm all about expressing oneself.
Yeah.
However, when that expression comes to a point where hip hop entertains a whole lot of profanity, which our young people, especially our children, are learning more words to hip-hop music than they are to the things that they learning in school. So a part of everything that you're a part of, how are you addressing these issues, and how do you keep young people engaged that it's okay to listen to music, but also education is important? Because our neighborhoods, especially in neighborhoods that are underserved and undeserved, kids know every word it is to some music, but they don't know a damn thing about reading a book.
Yeah, that's true. You know, and that's definitely important because, you know, like, you know, that the kids, you know, it's a different generation today. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful how we address them. You know, a lot of people like to attack the younger generation and, you know, like about what they, you know, about the way they express themselves. But, you know, there's a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of serious social issues and mental illness, and, you know, they express themselves through music. And like I say, everybody's experience is not a pretty one. It's not glamorous, you know, but I do think at some point, once an artist has established himself, once his story is told, he should start refocusing the things that he talk about, the way he expresses himself. Because now that you got that out of your system, how you gonna change what you went through? How you gonna encourage or influence the next person behind you that's going through the next thing? Some kind of change has to be shown, you know what I'm saying? And it's not gonna happen. We can't just go in and tell these youngsters, you know, you can't tell your story. You can't feel how you can't feel how you feel. We have to embrace it and try to help them stir it in a positive direction.
Mr. Henderson, the first thing I just want to say is thank you for coming out to speak today.
Yes.
My question is, there's a song on your latest album, the My Euphoria album, which I really like. It's called The Things That I've Learned. And I really like that particular track. If people have not heard of it, I definitely recommend it. And there's some specific lines that I remember about how your attitude towards the police has changed. And there was another one, a funny one, about how, you know, like a lot of your rappers are driving cars that they were fake and stuff like that. Yeah. But my question is, what inspired that track and what motivated you to put that out?
Basically, just, you know, just understanding that, you know, the way I felt when I was 19 and 20 is not the same way I feel at age 50 right now. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the things, a lot of those thoughts were very foolish, very young, very dumb. And, you know, I think back on some of the things I even used to say on some of my rounds. I was like, man, you was ignorant. What was you thinking about? You know what I'm saying? But, like, it's all a part of growing, you know, and that's one thing, you know, I try to do, like, with everything. So it's like that song wasn't basically inspired for me just living and learning, for sure.
Hello, we have a text question from Bianca from Buckeye. She says, it's so warming to see our Cleveland Stars always represent when they're out in the world shining. What keeps you most connected to Cleveland's communities?
Man, for one, you know, my entire family is still here, you know what I'm saying? My entire family is here. It's like all my memories are here, you know. It's just, you know, it's just a warm feeling, you know, when I come here. You know, always been proud, always, when I'm out and about, especially in California, always fighting against the big bullies when they try to bully our teams, and you know what I'm saying? Them dudes out there, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we represent it to the fullest, and we're gonna keep doing that for sure.
Good evening, Krayzie. First of all, I want to say thank you for putting Cleveland on the map.
Yes.
Y'all definitely have kept us down. When anytime I go out of town and I say Cleveland, oh, you from Bone Thugs and Harmony City? Absolutely, I am. So my question is more towards hip hop, and I wanted to ask you: Bone Thugs have worked with 3 legends that are no longer with us: Easy, Biggie, and Tupac. And I just want to know, what does that feel like to be able to work with those legends, and our up and coming music artists will never get that opportunity? Thank you.
Well, man, you know, we look at it as a blessing now. You know, like back when we did those songs, we had no idea they were gonna, you know, pass away. So it was, you know, at the time we was doing it because we were actually fans of each other. And but to have that accolade, you know, to be able to work with those 3 legendary people, including so many more with Jam Master Jay and Big Pun, you know, it's always a blessing.
What 3 MCs would you work with, or that's on your bucket list to work with, that you have never done a song before with?
Man, you know what? It's like, well, LL Cool J will be one. You know what I'm saying? LL, you know, they'll be all, it's all old school, like LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane, and who else, man? Oh yeah, Rakim for sure. Oh yeah, I go back and forth with Rakim for sure. Let's go. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
My brother, it's good to see you back in Cleveland.
Thank you, thank you.
My question comes from a book that I wrote in 2012 on hip-hop, gospel hip-hop. It's from the 5th chapter. So the question to you is this: considering everything that's going on in our city, in our country, and in the world, what would Jesus rap about? And especially considering our setting for this forum today.
Well, I don't think it would be about this. It would be about our salvation. You know what I'm saying? That's that's a different kind of song there. You know what I'm saying? You know.
That's next level.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, but you know, yeah, that's what it would be about our salvation, because you know, at the end of the day, nothing else matters. You know, definitely.
Hey, what's going on, man? I live in Rochester, New York, and I run a not-for-profit also. Work with at-risk kids and their families in the communities. I'm also a pastor at 3 juvenile detention centers, and I get to see a lot of the kids that was just like me growing up. You know, my dad always said the shortest amount of years you have on this earth is your childhood. And it's always, and the worst type of person you could be is someone who doesn't go, someone who forgets where they come from. You know, just saying all that to say, man, I just want to give you a word of encouragement, man, that what God has for you, man, is bigger than the music, man. You yet to even tap it yet, man. Your ability to teach the word, your ability to go back and get those young Bone Thugs and Harmony all over the world, God has that for you, man. That's why I came all the way from Rochester to let you know that God is just starting with you, man. So press on, brother.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. What's up?
Good evening, brother. I would be remiss if I didn't point out that young man, Quavers Walker, he's one of the dopest Christian rappers in the country. So I hope you get a chance to check him out. We also went to the same high school in Rochester, New York.
Okay.
Small world.
Yeah.
We're both MCs.
Yes,
I stand before you today, a licensed attorney in the state of Ohio. I do a lot of criminal defense work. I do a lot of civil rights work.
Yes.
I serve at the pleasure of LaTanya Goldsby, who's the president of Black Lives Matter Cleveland. I'm on the board of directors.
Yes, indeed.
I also make hip-hop music.
Okay.
I go by the name of MC Legal. And I'm just gonna tell you that I got tired of seeing these young guys in my office with very serious charges, asking me how they gonna charge me with this, right? All I did was this, all I did was that. And I thought about Malcolm X, and he said, any means necessary. So for me, hip hop is my any means. But my question for you is, hip hop being at 50 years, obviously the audience has matured a lot. And I'm wondering if you believe that might open more opportunities for non-traditional artists to deliver a good message, and how would you capitalize on those if you were just coming out today?
Yeah, I definitely believe it's going to open up more doors for the art, because you know, like, one thing, like you can't fool the public for too long, you know, like, and I hear a lot of hip hop fans expressing the same, you know, they're exhausted from what they're hearing today, you know, the same repetitive stuff, you know, and so I definitely feel a change. I definitely feel hip hop getting back, you know, I feel like hip hop, like, okay, we need to move to the next level. We know hip hop generates billions of dollars. We don't have to keep talking about it over and over again, you know, so I think we need to start like just like refocusing the messages, like some of the messages. Like we don't have to, everybody doesn't have to make positive, happy music, you know what I'm saying? But there are different styles of music within the hip hop genre that is not being given a chance to be showcased, because they're drowning us with one style, like this is all we do, and it's not.
And part of it is, I'm 45 years old. We have to support the artists that we generally love, right? Nas dropped 4 albums in 3 years. Nas is 51, 52 years old, and they were #1 albums because we supported his music. If you're 40 and up, support the artists that you love. They keep dropping music, you gotta support them. The more you support, the more you listen to them, the more you buy their music, the more that the powers that be is gonna play their music, because that's where the dollars are at. Right, we like you said, the genre is age groups, is different styles. I'm not listening to Little Baby all the time, right? So when Nas came out, I pumped his album all day long. When Method Man released a single, I play it till I can't play it no more, because that's the style I like. So if you love hip hop, you support the artists that you love. So if Big Daddy can't come out with an album, rush out to go get it. You have to support those artists. We see what hip hop looks like at 50. We see it. We see Nas, we see Meth, we see Redman. We see it. So let's support those artists.
Definitely.
All right. So my name is Ken Gregory, or a lot of people know me as Ghetto James. You know,
Okay, all
I
right.
am an artist, but that ain't what I'm my topic today. So my question for you is, I hear you saying after so long you've decided to come back home. I'm from Cleveland, born and raised. So I was just speaking with my homeboy back there as well. Like, now that you plan on coming back home, are we gonna see a presence of you around the city, in the city, near the city, touching the city, doing things like this? Or are you just coming back home just because this your hometown? What are your plans? Are you trying to improve it? Like, do you have I go to Edwin's, I'm in culinary school. I plan on having my own restaurant once I leave that. But at the same time, like, so hip hop is a basis for the underprivileged, or the people who are trying to get to a next level out of the struggle, as we should say. Like, what can we see, or what can we expect since Krayzie Bone has came back home to what's the next step, you know?
Well, that's a very good question. You know what I'm saying? And the first and foremost, you know, it's not like I'm coming back because I've been here. You know, like I said, all my family is here, so I'm here all the time. People just never, you know what I'm saying? Like, people just never really see me because how I move. But, you know, me deciding to want to come back and, like, like, do something in the community, like I said, you know, was me just like really just accumulating like the knowledge and the know-how to do it and putting together a team to help me do it. You know, so, and to answer the question, yes, my presence will definitely be felt here. You know what I'm saying? I've been here, you know, like I don't know how long. I've definitely been here almost more than I've been in LA this year. You know what I'm saying? So I've been here like this, especially trying to, you know, like move with this Spread the Love Foundation and just get everything underway. So yeah, my presence here will definitely be felt for sure. You will be you see me at a restaurant, you see me in the community, you know, you see me, I don't know, you might see me anywhere, you know what I'm saying? So I'll definitely be around here, man.
All right, we have another text question for you. It says, I'm extremely happy you came back to the community to help out. I also work in nonprofit. Do you ever feel disparaged at how the same systematic inequalities exist today as they did back in the 80s and 90s? And do you see improvement across the community? And what does improvement look like to you?
Man, yeah, we're definitely facing some of the same issues, you know, and I think on our behalf is because, you know, we have to fight and win the war amongst ourselves first before we can go out and tackle any war, in my opinion, against police brutality and, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, you know, if we not treating each other right, if we not caring about each other's lives, why would anybody else, you know? And we have to lead by example. That's just like if I'm riding in a brand new car and my friends is with me and I was smoking a cigarette and I put my ashes on the floor and they see me, where you think they're gonna put their ashes at? He don't care about his car, so, you know, I put him out on the floor. Same thing, if they see us not caring about each other, why should they? And we have to understand that is a big part of it. That is a big first blow in the battle, because that scares people. Like, oh, wait a minute, they're coming together now, wait a minute. And that's what we gotta do. That's where it starts at for me.
Hi, it's an honor to be up here because your music was prominent in my household growing up.
Yes, indeed.
But my question is, I'm an aspiring poet, and I say a poet because I don't agree with the industry and the music that's out today. Mm-hmm. So what is your advice for those artists that do want to speak out on the real challenges in our community, but it doesn't want to be heard because everyone is listening to the crap that's out today.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot, you know, and that's true. It's hard, you know, because like I said, this, you know, the genre is being drowned out by one sound, one style of music. But I would just say you have to be consistent, man. You have to like just keep pushing at what you're doing. Don't submit to what everybody else is doing, you know, because it'll eventually be recognized. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with being different, you know, and if what you're doing is different enough, then, you know, you'll bring everybody to what you're doing, you know, and that's why I just say just stay consistently you know what I'm saying? Definitely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Krayzie Bone, Krayzie Bone.
What's up, man?
You know, it's interesting because, like, I feel like I know you because, like, literally when I was young, I was living in St. Louis, Missouri before I came here to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And, you know, all my friends was bumping the Bone before Crossroads or any of those came out.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get to Cleveland because I just wanted to meet you. And, you know, I had an opportunity to go to a couple of the concerts. Like I was at the Budweiser Superfest where, you know, it was Mary J. Blige there, Drew Hill, you guys. Then you guys came out here at one point in time, I think that same year, to Painesville, Ohio for the Freaknik. And it had a lot of the, you know, No Limit and all them over there. Yep. But I just really want you to know who I am real quick. My name is Lil Craig of Too Real. All my life, I have dealt with diversity, dealt with being picked on, dealt with being bullied when I was younger. Until I found myself, I picked up a pen. I started voicing my opinions through music. I'm now a very, very well-known artist, not as known as you. But the problem is, like, this music thing for me and for most artists, like yourself, like me, and like us all, it's a freedom of speech, right? And we just want to be heard. We have a story to tell. Like, some people's stories are not as obvious as mine. And there's still some things about my story that people won't know unless I sing it or rap it. I want to know from you, from somebody I look up to, somebody who I gained a lot of my talent from watching throughout the years and learning throughout the years. I want to know what it is that if you were to say, this artist right here was somebody I definitely want to work with, somebody who, regardless of money, regardless of how they look, regardless of stigmas, what is it specifically that points that individual out for you? Because I want to know that, because I need to know why the heck it's so hard to be seen, be heard, no matter how good you are. I need to know what it is that you think would grab that attention from you specifically to work with a specific artist. So,
man, I would say, you know, the individuality of a person, you know, the originality, you know, of the person. I'm not just looking for the next the next so and so, or, you know, like the next Tupac or the next Biggie, like, you know, that's immediate turn off for somebody say I sound like next. You know, so even when they say they sound just like us, next, it's already been done. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for something, and you know, like one thing I ask a lot of artists. I say, you know, what makes your story so different from everybody else's? Why should they listen to your story opposed to the next person? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people say, well, you know, because my story is real. Everybody said their story is real. What's different? What's different about it? How are you going to connect with people emotionally? how you gonna make them feel your pain and feel your happiness. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's about just, you know, like just being original and being true to yourself, man, and just not getting caught up in fast. It's hard for, like you said, even people that has talent, you know what I'm saying? And this, I mean, you know, anything could happen for anybody at any moment. And on the other hand, we have to also realize that there are a lot of very talented people that will probably never reach that goal. But there are other situations that can come from it. You know what I'm saying? You have to just take everything you learn and go through it, you know, and even if it's not the main goal you thought you were gonna, you know what I'm saying, have, if it wasn't your expected end goal, you never know what traveling up the road would take you. You might see something else along the way that interests you that you may want to indulge in as well. So I would just say, man, you know, yeah, that's what I say. Yes, indeed, bro.
I have to tell you that I am so excited to be here because I'm part of your memories.
Oh, yes.
My name is Tina Mitchell, and I was Anthony's 4th grade teacher.
Yes. Wow. Yes. One of my favorite teachers. One of my favorite teachers, definitely.
And he was always humming, and he was always writing poetry, even during math time. But I would let him, and I told him, as long as you get your work done.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm getting teary because I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
And can I have a hug?
Yes, indeed, you can.
Because if he's saying he's 50, I'm saying I'm 50.
I'm 50. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed.
I can't follow that up. All right. So we have another text question for you, but it does say, can you tell us a little bit more about the Spread the Love Foundation and how people can get involved?
Well, you know, we have a website, spreadtheloveoh.com, you know, that people can go to see how they can lend a hand to get involved with it. But, you know, it's going to be a lot of programs that, you know, benefit young aspiring artists, because like I said, you know, I think the thing that's missing is the education part is very important, especially when they get into this billion-dollar industry that we help build, structure. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we had to understand that there's many different aspects to the music industry. It's not just being on stage, performing. It's many different things, you know. So there's plenty of jobs in that field, like, you know, that you can be close to music and still enjoy it and make a lot of money too. For real.
Good evening. My name is LaTanya Henderson Warren, and I'm an author and a poet. Yes. I don't know if I'm part of your memories. I'm not your 5th grade teacher, but me and my friends came in 1995 in my little Ford Escort wagon, and we was riding down 99 in St. Clair yelling, "Bone, bone, bone." I hope you heard me.
I probably heard you. Yes, indeed.
That's not my only question. But I also wanted to ask, being a creative artist as you are, and you have content that you can come up with, not just get up and glorify body parts that we all have, do you feel discouraged at times to continue?
Not at all. You know, because I would never lower my standards, I feel, just to fit in with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't even sound right coming from me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's something I don't indulge in. Like, I understand what my mission is through music, you know what I'm saying? And that is to you know, like preach positivity. It's not just to show people how to be successful in their life. It's trying to show people how to be saved as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you can have all the money we can accumulate all the money, material things, but if you ain't right with the Lord, nothing matters.
That's right. That's right.
Like for real.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Krayzie and Mr. Styles, for coming, and Church of Morning Star Baptist Church. Thank you for all of this. So.
Yes, indeed.
Way to close it out. Thank you so much. Thank you to Krayzie Bone and DJ Kristyles for joining us here today. Another round of applause for our speakers. I know we had a lot of people here today wanting to ask a question. Again, reminding you we will have a quick meet and greet after the forum, so feel free to line up over here on the right hand of the stage, and we'll bring Krayzie Bone out here once more. Today's forum is part of our Health Equity Series sponsored by the St. Luke's Foundation. It is also part of our City Club in the Community Series in partnership with Bank of America. The City Club is grateful to each of these organizations for their continued support. Be sure to join us every Friday under the chandelier at Playhouse Square. We will be hosting free live radio broadcasts of our City Club forums at noon. Tomorrow, August 11th, Dr. David Margolius, Director of Public Health for the City of Cleveland, will join the City Club for a discussion about equity in public health. IdeaStream Public Media's Marlene Harris-Taylor will moderate that conversation. And then on Friday, August 18th, the City Club will hear from experts on climate change's impact on air quality. So all those wildfire smoke and ozone we've been hearing about. Then finally, on August 25th, we will learn about the new Central Villa 25 project with Janice Contreras with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I hope to see all of you there for our free Friday forums. And you can learn all about them at cityclub.org. And that brings us to the end of today's forum. Thank you once again to Krayzie and DJ Kristyles, and thank you, members and friends of the City Club. I'm Cynthia Connolly. This forum is adjourned.